tell you about my show. Wednesday nights. And here we go. It's the rule of three with the touch of Basco. And like the Joker says, and here we go. It's Wednesday night and it's 9 o'clock. Click on the thumbnail, it's about to get hot. We get 3 different questions in only 3 minutes. It ain't for the scared, it ain't for the timid. Some will like us and some just don't. A lot will back us and some just won't. It don't matter with the Khaos crew. We specialize in making things do what they do. So sit back, chill, and enjoy the show with me, Chris, Gaiskar, and Anzo.
Fire, peace. 9 o'clock, Wednesday nights. Don't miss it. Check us out.
And here we go.
Yes, and here we go. I know Danny's going to kick my ass for if I keep using that. It is Danny's thing. I will make sure everybody knows that it is Danny's thing. That's his baby. That's Heath Ledger right there. It's his baby. Guys, thank you very much for those of you who are here. Hopefully, do me a favor. Go ahead and grab that link up above and share it out on your favorite social media. Make sure you hit that like button. If you're not yet subscribed, smash the subscribe button. But we're going to go around really quick with the panelists and let them talk about who they are, where they can be found, all that good stuff. And while you guys are doing that, take your time. Don't rush. I'm going to go ahead and make sure this is out on Discord and stuff like that. So go ahead. Anzo, tell everybody about yourself and where you can be found.
What's up, guys? You know the channel. You know Biggaford Entertainment, Rule of Three, Chaos Conversation, Chaos List. We also do OOC, Game Changers. You know, make sure you guys check us out. OOC will be on later on tonight. Tomorrow should be a debate between LDG and Ashley debating WandaVision. We're going to see how that works out. But other than that, man, appreciate everybody and get ready to do this, man. Let's do it.
Yes, indeed. All right, Danny, go ahead and tell everybody about yourself and where you can be found.
I am Danny Graham, a.k.a. Comet Chat. Monday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can find me here. My show, Chaotic Conversation, which was two nights ago. We had good topics, man. Going to try and keep the momentum rolling. Last night was on Anzo's show, which was fantastic. Tonight here on Chris. Last show was this Sunday on Roundtable, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're talking to Bad Batch. Anzo, when is your Roundtable?
Sunday at... What time are you doing it?
Shit. I forgot you guys still have that one left to do, right?
Yeah. So talk with JJ. We might move it up or something. I don't know. Talk with JJ and work it out. But they'll both be this Sunday either way. Just
yeah. Check it out. What if first episode? I like it. So that's all I'm gonna say. Not getting into it too deep.
Mm-hmm. All right. Okay, Gaiskar, go ahead and tell everybody about yourself and where you can be found.
Gaiskar Basco scenario, gaming clips. I have the cockpit conversation that I'm going to be dropping every week now. And also I'm going to be having my show upcoming here on Chaos Central. So stay tuned. Make sure you're subscribed. And you can also find me on JJ's Roundtable for the Bad Batch. So, yeah, those are the spots you can find me.
Indeed. All right. I am Chris Knight. Of course, The Real Review 3000 is my channel. And you can find me there also on Twitch. I got like 10 days or so to get up to 50 followers. So if you guys can help me by going over to Twitch and look up The Real Review 3000 and follow me over there, help me get to affiliate. And then we'll talk about getting to partner and all that crap. But for right now, yeah. So I see we got David and Cassis here, or is that how you say it? Chases. Okay. Well, you see, I'm getting fancy then with it. Guys, thank you for being here. Appreciate it. You guys know how this is. We got 3 topics we're going to spin for. We're going to share that screen right now. Right there it is. There's the wheel. 12 topics. Only 3 will get picked tonight. And we'll talk about it 3 minutes each, and then 3 minutes as a group to discuss our differences, our agreements, whatever it is. Let's go ahead and make sure. Oh, wow. I just got turned down a little bit. There we go. All right, here we go. Is that loud enough, guys?
Yeah.
Topic number 1. Do you think that Suicide Squad or The Suicide Squad or Suicide Squad 2 was a better movie than Black Widow?
Thank you, Chris. Thank you.
Not
Thank
a
you very
problem.
much.
Not a problem. All right, here we go. Do you think that Suicide Squad 2 or The Suicide Squad was a better movie than Black Widow? 3 minutes. Who would like to start this?
Shit, I'll go first. I wanted to reset, but I'll go first.
All right, go ahead. 3 minutes starts now.
The Suicide Squad is absolutely 100% a better movie than Black Widow. Suicide Squad was so funny. It had me rolling. The characters hit. And I tell people this all the time. It is a lot deeper than a lot of people who are complaining about it is, right? You get all these fucking social or political stuff where the Americans go into the town and they wipe out fucking innocent people. And then you have Amanda Waller who took Starro from space, took him and tried to weaponize him, right? And when the first time I seen it, I missed the, and I say it all the time, I missed the scene at the end, right before Starro dies. The fucking general gets up and he's like, I was happy in space just looking at the stars. That scene alone and that line alone was like, holy shit, made it so deep because Starro was doing his thing. Americans came up in there, they snatched him out of space, they took him and they tortured him for 30 years. So when he gets out, all he wants to do is get revenge. He doesn't say, I'm going to take over the world. He says, this town is mine. So all he concerned about was that town. Fucking amazing. You also get the rat catcher situation. I'm sorry, the weasel situation where he drowns. And that scene had me dying as hell. Also, the characters in this movie. Sorry about that. The characters in this movie, you feel for them, right? The only thing I will say is Deadshot or Bloodsport pretty much was written like should have been Deadshot, like 100%. That was Will Smith's character. I don't know what happened or why they decided to make him Bloodsport instead of Deadshot, but I think it's because Will Smith said he wasn't done with the series. But this movie also took characters that I had no idea about and made them fucking enjoyable. King Shark was amazing. Polka Dot Man, who I thought was going to be the worst fucking character in this movie, was one of the best. You know what I mean? His backstory was amazing. And then when you seen that those polka dots were coming out, they were literally torturing him. So he had to get rid of them 2 times a day, whatever. The only character that I didn't really like was the Thinker. I thought the Thinker was basically a throwaway character, basically for the plot. But this movie hits from the beginning. You get that little slow scene. It kind of drags in the middle, but then it goes straight back into the action again. When it came to Black Widow, I enjoyed the movie. Characters were great in the movie. But at the end of the day, I didn't think Black Widow had anything that wowed me. And this movie had me wowed and entertained from start to finish. So 100%, it is definitely better than Black Widow.
Okay.
Chris, I'm going to reset and come back, all right?
Yep, no problem. Go ahead. All right, let's see where we got Drop Shop in now. Guys, again, please do me a favor and share out the stream. Take the link up above and share it out on your favorite social media. Who'd like to go next?
I'll go.
You gonna make it there, Danny?
Long day, dragging, bro. I'm sorry, I am dragging.
I tell you what, I was outside a lot today, and it was like 115 with the heat index, and oh god! All right, 3 minutes, Danny.
I don't want to be disrespectful, so I have my avatar.
No, you're fine. No, dude, I understand. Go ahead. 3 minutes starts now.
This really was like 1A, 1B. Neither one of them, neither movie was really my cup of tea. There were some parts of Suicide Squad that I found amusing and entertained me, but for the most part, I just thought that it was really a goofy movie. The look that Starro had when he was the giant Starro didn't look really good to me. I thought the Weasel was definitely goofy. I was semi pissed when he come back to life at the end. Like, damn, um, they bring him back to life, but not Boomerang, which I was really. And I heard people say, "Why?" But don't like Boomerang from the last one. Well, I like Boomerang, especially like the upgrade on his boomerangs and how he had whatever technology he had. Um, just a little bit of banter on the plane. I like that. Idris Elba, Bloodsport, the scene with him and the Patriot, I mean, the Peacemaker rather, um, going through the village, shooting the wrong people. It was kind of amusing and still entertaining at the same time. Um, I'm going to watch this movie again because apparently, and this is going to be one time I'm going to say this, I must be too old to enjoy comedy and superheroes because this just didn't hit it for me. Um, I'm not going to say it just wasn't my cup of tea. If you like it, hey, I'm glad you like it. Um, I'm thankful that I didn't spend my money to go see it because I would have been disappointed. Because, like I've said in my past videos, if I go and pay for a movie, I feel obligated to watch it, whether I think it's trash or not, whether I think it's my cup of tea or not. I'm not going to say this movie is trash, but I'm just going to say it's just not Danny's cup of tea. Like I said, I'm going to try and watch it one more time to see if I was missing something. And looking for these deeper meanings like Anzo did and looking for these hidden gems and stuff. I didn't do that. I'm not going to do that because it's just not that important to me. But at the end of the day, um, this is a very divisive movie. I've heard a lot of people say they love it. It's a masterpiece. And I hear a lot of people say that it is not so much. So I'm in the group that it's not so much. But I got my fingers crossed, and I hope that the next DC, the next Marvel movie, will do it for me. Because, like I said, and I will always say, I am a comic book movie fan, and I want all of them to succeed. So hopefully, the next one will be the one that does it for me. This one just didn't do it.
All right. Very good. Very good. Up next, let's get Gaiskar on up here. Gaiskar, you got 3 minutes on the board. Is Suicide Squad 2 a better movie than Black Widow? Go.
It's more consistently entertaining, but I didn't enjoy it. I thought that it was flat. In order to get people that don't know these characters into characters, I think it was dry, like Polka Dot Man, and like fucking stupid. The whole thing with the best heroes in this movie were Idris Elba and Harley Quinn, for me. The whole shark stupidity with I just heard Sylvester Stallone, so I couldn't disassociate the shark with Sylvester Stallone. So there was some funny moments that I enjoyed, but as when the fucking weasel fell out of the plane and nobody bothered checking to see if the weasel can swim, I found that was pretty good. Overall, Starfish as a supervillain. Well, my God, isn't there any type of other supervillain they could have used that was more pleasing? And the whole thing with the whole cover your face things, they just putting their hands, the other people were covering their face, but that the starfish were getting on their face. So I found that really inconsistent. It's just, people that enjoyed it, hey, good for them. But honestly, for me, it wasn't. It's not a movie that I'm glad I spent money on, and it's not probably a movie that I'm probably going to watch again. As in depth and stuff, yeah, there was political things on it. As closure for a character, well, Black Widow is definitely still making more money than this movie. So, and this movie is bombing right now. So I don't expect it to make as much money as Black Widow, or even close to it, to be honest with you. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens in a few weeks. For sure, it's going to get bumped out of first place in the box office by what's that called? Fall Guy or Free Guy? Free Guy?
Free Guy, yeah.
Yeah, Free Guy is going to freaking tear the box office this weekend. And see. But honestly, it wasn't for me. The characters themselves just wasn't pleasing for me.
So you think
I like the
as
first
far
one
as
better. I like the first one better than this one.
but you think consistency, like as in straight through watchability, this is better than Black Widow?
Yeah, and since like there was not really any slow parts to this movie. Like it was constant action, there was constant moving. It was everybody was moving at, there was always the storyline was flowing. Black Widow was more, I would say, spy drama where there was a lot of talking and stuff like that and nothing going on but talking. But yeah. That's what it is.
All right. Let's see here. 3 minutes I'll take right now. Man, this is difficult for me. I gotta say this. I think that the Suicide Squad was what fixed the problems from the first one. I like the first one, but this one treated it less serious, like it should have in the first one. Suicide Squad was always like, these people are gonna, we don't care about them. We're gonna throw them out there, and they know it, so they just kind of are there. They're doing what they want. That's just the whole thing felt more like Suicide Squad. Like they don't give a crap, but they're going to do the job because they know if they don't do the job, they're going to, get their head blown up or whatnot. I didn't like the fact they killed Captain Boomerang, so I've said that before. I like Jai Courtney. But I liked the movie overall. Funny when it needed to be funny. And like I said, it didn't take itself serious. Black Widow, on the other hand, man, I don't know. I didn't hate it, but I can't say I loved it either because it's like when you wait that long for something, and I mean, it just, you build it up, you build it up, you build it up, you build it up, and then it's like, all right, I guess that's the biggest problem I had with it is that we waited so damn long. I mean, thinking back on it, they should have just put it straight to streaming immediately. I think Wonder Woman 84 kind of suffered from the same idea, but I think Black Widow's a better movie. Personally, though, I would say that I enjoyed Suicide Squad better than I enjoyed Black Widow. Probably because, like what Gaiskar said, it keeps it consistently entertaining throughout the whole thing. And when you do that, you're going to win. There's lulls and points that it's like, okay, let's just get on with it in Black Widow. And again, that might be because we waited for it and all we wanted was explosions, her running around in a skin tight bodysuit, and that's about it. Hell, if she'd done that the whole movie, I think I might have been happier. But anyways, yeah. So, I think in a sense, entertainment value wise, Suicide Squad is a better movie. Story wise, I do agree with what Edras de Leon said here about that Black Widow is a better movie story wise, but consistently entertaining, Suicide Squad wins all day. So let's talk about this for 3 minutes together, guys. What is the biggest thing? I'm just going to ask this real quick. What's the biggest thing that hurt Black Widow, and what's the biggest thing that hurts Suicide Squad?
Biggest thing that hurts Suicide Squad is that it came on HBO Max for free. At least the Disney Plus, you charge $30 for it. But if I can watch it for free at home for HBO Max, of course people were going to do that. That's the biggest reason why it didn't fucking do good at the box office.
Yeah, I agree with Alonso on that.
The numbers are going to be better for Suicide Squad because of how many people got to watch it. Just not money wise.
And the Rotten Tomatoes rating for it is great.
Yeah,
which
I think for both the critics and for the fans.
Right.
I don't know. This is, to me, is a conundrum because I don't see how this thing has a higher Rotten Tomato score than Endgame and Infinity War, but it did at one point. So, if, like I said, I ain't gonna sit here and bash it because people like it, people who opinions I respect like it, but like I was saying, I just didn't see it the way that they saw it. I just thought
you can bash it, bro. Go ahead, bash it.
No, I ain't trying to sit. It's really not. This movie is like the least important movie I've seen this year, as far as it relates to comic book movies. Was it more entertaining than Black Widow? Yes, and I will agree with you that I thought Polka Dot Man was going to be a joke, but man, his story was pretty interesting to me. But the strength of that alone wasn't enough for me to be like, damn, this shit's amazing and blah blah. I didn't see all
Because
that.
he got to take a shit every twice a day to remove his polka dots. That's what he was doing behind the bush, was taking a shit.
Was he shitting or was he throwing up? I thought he was throwing up.
I think he was using his hands like he does with the things on it, but I don't know. They don't really show that.
Yeah,
but
it was.
Took characters that you didn't know. Ratcatcher, she's the heart of the movie. Even though I didn't like her action, you know what I mean? She's definitely the heart of the movie. So I know no idea who she is. No. King Shark, you really feel for King Shark, right? Because like I said, there's a deeper meaning to that. When King Shark is about to fucking eat Ratcatcher, and she's like, would you eat your friends? He's like, I have no friends. And then they're like, can we be friends? And then ever since that moment, King Shark has been on point with them. Like, it's so good, man. And then there's a scene in the truck, right, where they go into the bar, and King Shark looks out the window, and he sees two people kissing, and then they go back to him, and the way his eyes look and the way they put his head down, the movie is fire, bro. There's a lot of things in that movie that if you watch it again, you may see them, Danny.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean,
don't let me get that. Please, don't let me get that.
And Gaiskar, I'll ask you really quick on this. What do you think the biggest thing that Black Widow suffered from, and the biggest thing that Suicide Squad suffered from?
Biggest thing that Black Widow suffered from is not getting the story that the fans wanted, which that was the Bucharest story with Hawkeye. If they would have given us that, that would have been fire. If we would have got this a lot earlier, it would have been better. And
it's about 4 movies too late.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Mm-hmm. And Scarlett Johansson is done with Marvel and Disney, so that's not going to happen. She's done. They just brought out a statement that Disney's no longer working with Scarlett Johansson, of course, because of the whole court case, so conflict of interest. For the Suicide Squad, I don't know, man. Like I said, I just started getting into more DC once I started doing the whole YouTube thing. For me, they were just, in comparison to characters that we got in Marvel, I just find they're weak characters. But like Mads, explained that these are like the bottom barrel type of characters in order to make these type of movies. So I gotta respect that. But for myself, it wasn't like Danny would say, it wasn't my cup of tea.
I think that Black Widow, like we said, suffers from the fact that they said we were getting one thing, we didn't get that, and the time. This should have been done a long time ago. And you're right, Scarlett Johansson's gone. Never going to see it. Never going to be able to fix it. Whatever, and God forbid they ever try to put another person in that character. Mm-hmm. I don't see it, but whatever. Suicide Squad. Well, yeah.
One more thing that hurt Suicide Squad: the R rating.
Yeah. Now that's what I was going to kind of go to is the R rating. I'm glad that they're doing it. I'm glad DC is not being scared by that R rating, but that's going to hurt it every time. The other thing is when I first started watching it, the first time I said this, watch the first 15 minutes where all the crap happens at the beginning. And I was like, no, I don't know if I can do this because Captain Boomerang's one of my favorite freaking characters and they kill him.
I don't understand why people loved Captain Boomerang. I thought he was so garbage in the first one.
He kind of is, but I think Jai Courtney is the right guy for it. So if they do another one, maybe it's one in between these two or something. I don't know. But yeah, it was sad. And especially since it actually showed some of the stuff he could do in this one. It's like, that's how we're going to do it, but whatever. All right, let's get our second topic here. Let's see if we can't pull one of these crazy ones.
I want to go back.
Oh, so close. Oh, here we go. All right. More and more states are passing laws restricting voter rights on how they can vote, when, and where. Do you believe that this is because certain politicians are scared by what happened in the 2020 election? Where's LDG when you need him, right?
Mm.
He would take this and be like, "Oh God!" Blah, 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 blah. Hey, Tim Possible, good to see you in the chat. Thank you. Make sure you guys share the stream out for us. I would greatly appreciate that.
What up, Tim?
All right, let's see here. Let's get to this. Who wants to go first on this one?
I'll go first.
All right, Danny, go ahead. 3 minutes. Go.
I think that whoever pulls the strings, whoever calls the shots, whenever elections don't go their way, then they try to change different laws, change different voting strategies, different voting things to try and dictate the narrative. And that's what they're trying to do here. They didn't like it with when Obama got elected for a second time. I guess powers that be love last president. They wanted 4 more years of that, but I guess the people said no, we're not going to do it. So the people that were against that went out and beat the bushes and got people there in large droves. And now the people that are calling the shots and want to control the narrative, seeing that look, when the rubber meets the road, our opposition can galvanize and get the numbers there to make the votes go their way. So we got to do something to try and neutralize all this voting. They're trying to make stuff. I think I heard something crazy here. I know in my state that if you didn't vote in the past 2 years, then they're going to kick you off the voter registration or do something, or you got to go back to the whole process again. That's crazy. If you hadn't done anything for as breaking the law or doing anything to lose your privilege to vote, there's a right that you get to vote. Whether you choose to exercise that right shouldn't disqualify you. So, okay, I didn't vote this election because my wife is a prime example. We've been married 25 years and she's never voted, and it drives me up the wall. Like, why the hell? You can't complain. You can't say nothing if you don't go out there and vote. She said, well, Danny, I just don't think that one vote's going to make a difference. And it has in the general election, but it has in our city elections, our local elections. Case in point, we live in a town where the mayor lost, the incumbent lost to a challenger by one vote. They must have had a recount about 4 or 5 times. It was like 200 to 201. And that one vote count. And I always use that example when I'm talking to people about voting. Know that one vote don't count overall in the big scheme of things, but enough people don't vote. That's going to start adding up. And if something is really, really close, then those one or two people that didn't vote in your particular town or city or state can add up tremendously. So I definitely think there's manipulating going on. I've seen it at the local level where one vote, one person running for a particular election didn't get the numbers they thought they should, so they'll go ahead and do something to try to restructure the lines, the voting lines. 1 year you voting in this precinct, the next year his precincts change and this kind of stuff. I've seen it happen my entire adult life working in law enforcement. So I definitely think that they're trying to do stuff to stack the deck for their side for whatever candidate they want to win on both in both parties, the Democratic Party and in the Republican Party.
Okay, yeah, good job. All right, the 2 Canadians. Sorry, who wants to go first?
I'll go.
Okay, go ahead. 3 minutes. Go ahead. And Gentry, good to see you. Thank you.
I was gonna say I really don't, unless it's like the elections coming on, I really don't know about what you guys do to go voting. You see some of it when they had the mail-in votings and stuff like that for COVID, right? So I'm not sure what their plan is, because a lot of people to this day still call fraud on that election. A lot of people still sit there and say Trump really won the elections, right? So I'm thinking if you're now restricting voters on where and when they can vote, it's going to be a little bit more of a shit show, and people are going to be able to call fraud a lot easier than they did now, right? But again, at the end of the day, I believe they think that it's supposed to make it a better situation for voters and for people to think that it's more secure. But I could just see so much problems with this stuff, man. So I don't know, man. I do believe it is 100% because of what happened in 2020. There is no doubt about that. And they're trying to, I guess, give people more confidence that their system works. But even before that, man, the system really does not work because from what I know from American politics, no matter what happens, if the electoral vote says that the president wins, then the president wins, no matter with the popular vote or whatever. And I
The
think
electoral vote has final say, and they
final
don't.
say.
There's only like 20 states that they're required to follow what the popular vote says.
Right. So in that way, it's basically them that's picking the president of the United States, right? And it makes it look like it's like, yeah, the population is doing it, but when it comes down to it, whoever the electoral vote, whoever they want to come in to be the president, that's who's gonna be it. So I don't know, man. I just, like I said, I don't do politics, and to be honest with you, I'm kind of like Danny's wife. I don't vote either. I don't complain about this shit either because I know if I don't vote, I shouldn't even be complaining, right? Trudeau won over here. He legalized weed. I don't care what anybody says about him. That part for me is perfectly fine. But I didn't vote in that election either, right? And even though it's him legalize weed and then the opposition not to legalize, I still didn't vote because I feel like my one vote really and truly doesn't really matter. Like Danny said, though, if yes, more people start voting or start thinking that way, then it does affect it. But from what I gathered, and it's at least 10%, the president elect has to win by at least 10% of the votes. And with millions of people voting, my one vote really doesn't mean nothing. So I don't bother with it.
All right. Very good. Gaiskar.
Wow. This has been going on since all times where things are always changed in, how to say this, things are changed in order for them to make sure they're going to come out on top. Everyone's going to always say there's been corruption. There's not one election that has passed that they haven't said it was been rigged or there's been corruption or not. As citizens, our duty is to vote. No matter if you think your vote counts or not, it does count, because statistically, when they run those things, those numbers count. And if people go to vote and there are less numbers, then of course we're going to always get shitty governments. But now we're always going to get shitty governments in the sense that it won't appease the masses, right? And that's what we get. We get elections where it doesn't appease the masses. Now, the structure of our elections is different up here in Canada, right? We have certain seats in the House of Commons, and we have boroughs here in the city, which represent certain, liberal or conservative governments, as you want to say. And the more you vote in your area for that specific person, you're guaranteed to get that representative to the House of Commons to represent your borough, your area, and that party. So the more people that vote, the more seats you have in that House of Commons, and the more power your party will have to make up a majority of that political party, so that they can pass laws and things like that without opposition. What happens here is that the Liberals win, but they're not a majority. So you have two other parties that can dictate if laws are going to be passed or not. So it's kind of like Congress, I guess, right? Chris, you correct me if I'm wrong.
It's kind of like the House of Representatives based off of population. So that's kind of how it works with you guys.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like that branch.
And I'm just asking questions because I don't know much about the political gameplay there in the States. But Congress, it's you said there's representatives, but they represent who? Are they representing are they truly representing the people, or are they representing corporate America and all that?
It depends on where you're at, because again, all politicians have some one of corporate America, because that's where the money comes from. The people don't pay for these people to get. They don't. So still the people, the regular people, the regular folk
are still malrepresented in your country, yet you still have proper health care for the people that are not able to get it, right? Or you have there's like a basis, right?
Yeah. It's I don't know. It just depends. Basically, a representative is assigned to an area, the greater whatever, like at large. No, the governor is a state appointed. They are the top politician in the state, the head politician in the state. Each state has a senate and a representative group, and then those people are separate from the national Senate and House of Representatives. And then each city has a board, like a city board, and has a mayor, a city manager, all sorts of things. But the representatives are assigned to an area based off the population. So you have people in inner city, you have people in urban, or not urban, but in rural, you have people in affluent areas. So much like the fact is an affluent area more likely is going to be Republican. An urban area is more than likely going to be Democrat. And they do try for that, but it is a very, I don't know how to say it. It's a skewed system because there's a lot of hands and a lot of pockets and a lot of people in the kitchen, and it becomes more argument more than anything. What I would say about the election, though, in this sense is that there are some things that the Democrats are fighting on these new rules that make no sense. And I agree with the Republicans. Republicans are fighting one of these things, which is they have to show an ID when they vote. And Democrats are saying that's not fair because less fortunate people might not have a ride to get that, or may not have their birth certificate or whatever. And the Democrats basically said, listen, what you're trying to say is they're not smart enough to get these things done, or they're not, they're unable to do that, which is actually a very racist thing to say. You should be saying, listen, we will show you where to go if you need to, but you know what? That's our job, is to help them get to those things and get those things that they need to vote, if they want to vote. On the other side, though, like Danny was saying, if you have a law that states that if you didn't vote in the last two elections, that you're going to be off the books, that we're going to take you out, that to me is against the law. It's my right to register to vote, and that registered voter card can sit for years and years. And maybe one day I wake up and I haven't voted in 15 elections. And one day I wake up and say, you know what? I don't like this what's going on. I want to vote today. You shouldn't be able to dictate that I have to go through all the hoops again. And then they are changing certain aspects on hours, locations, and there are some of those things that I don't agree with. I don't think that I think you need to watch where you're doing it. It needs to be in a safe spot. It doesn't need to be in a place that's going to have people trying to skew the election, but you need to have more voting areas. And here in Missouri, I don't know about in South Carolina or, Florida or whatnot. Here in Missouri, each voting area has one place to go. And if you go to the wrong place, they'll tell you where to go to the right place, but then you might be on a line and stuff. So it dissuades a lot of people from voting. I think that each voting area should have at least 2, maybe 3 places to go vote. And that would also cut down the thing. Now that requires more volunteers to watch over the polling places and stuff. This is going to be really interesting because here's the thing. I think this is going to backfire in everybody's face in the next election, and it's going to be more of a clusterfuck than it has been in the past. And they're going to want to go back and redo all of this again. And that's just how we get into these soupy messes of complete crap. And then we spend the next 20 years trying to figure out how do we get out of this mess. So, let's talk about it together real quick here. And Danny and I probably, this is an American thing, but voting, if they told you guys in Canada that you only can vote between this time and this time, and you have to be at work at that time, and I know here in the States they're supposed to let you go. We can't stop you from going.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
But how many people think that at some point that's not going to come back on them? A lot of people have a fear of their jobs. Not everybody, but a lot of people are worried about that. Let's say you work for a small business and you only got 10 people that work there, and you're the only one that leaves during the day to go vote.
Mm-hmm. But that's the thing. Over here. Oh, sorry, Danny. Over here, that's the thing. It's your employer has to give you the right to go and vote, and they can't penalize you for it. And that's where our labor laws are very strong. So if an employer does that, then our labor laws are going to come back and make sure that
be like that here.
Yeah, it is like that here. Where I'm at, I've never heard of any company saying over here, nope, you can't go vote.
Well, I'm not saying that you can't.
What are you saying? Because I'm confused.
Think if you work in a small business that has 5-10 people, and you're the only one that leaves, not because you can't, but because you do and you can't. But everybody else stays and they go before or after. Those things do worry some people. And that's up here. A lot of people think that their vote doesn't count. Those are mental thoughts that you have. So some people might think that later on your job might retaliate against you if you're the only one that leaves in the middle of the day to go vote. I'm not saying it's the case, but I know people who think like that. The same people who decide my vote doesn't matter. And those people actually are what hurts these elections, is the ones that say, oh, it doesn't matter anyways. And then you get the crappy numbers. And the next thing you know, that everybody wants to bitch because it's the wrong person in.
Well, I'm on the good side of that because my boss is an elected official and he wants us to go vote.
Oh, yeah. No, I don't have that issue.
I hear what you're saying, but I've never heard that if I decide to go during the day and other employees decide to go before or after work, that's being an issue. I mean, we here in good old South Kakalaki, they encourage us. They want us to go vote. They even give us stickers. Yeah, I voted. People ask, did you go vote? Did you go vote? Did you go vote? So some people think that, and what's another thing that's going to hurt people too. A lot of people only vote during the general election here, and that's crazy.
Yeah,
they don't vote like during their small elections or every 4 years. It's the big election time. You need to go vote. No, you need to vote every time something in your particular neighborhood, your corner of the world, that is going to directly or indirectly involve you. You need to go and vote, whether you think it's going to help or
not. Absolutely. All right, let's see what the third topic's going to be today.
Oh, God. Thank you.
What didn't you want to talk about? We can go do that one.
No, I didn't care about Tiger Woods.
The latest of the new Captain America comics, the United States of Captain America, is coming under a lot of heat due to its strong anti-American ideology. Saying that the American dream is dead. Actor Dean Cain has slammed Marvel for their new woke agenda. Should comics take a step back from politics and return to fantasy? What do we think here? Who wants to go first on this one?
I'll go. I think.
Hold on just a second. Get up here. Oh, wrong thing. There you go. All right, here we go.
Comics have always been a little bit political. I think right now what's going on is it's trying to appease way too many people, which is hurting the product, right? They feel like they have to fill up a quota and have certain people of certain color in there, people of certain sexual orientation in there, or no sexual orientation in there. And I think that's what's killing the brand right now. They have to go back to the basics, and I think society as a whole has to go back to the basics, in my opinion, and just bring back fantasy, because a lot of people want to see movies in order to get away from the reality. That was the main purpose of theaters back in the day, right? It was to escape, the wars. They would want to go see silent, going back to silent film. They would go to those theaters to escape the reality of what was going on politically around the world. And I find that that's where they should go back to doing, just escapism, if you want to say it, But listen, it's gone to a point where, as YouTubers, we're looking into that, and that's all we're seeing. And we're seeing a lot of YouTubers that, are making crazy shows and viewers because they're really voicing the fact that it's gone to the point where Marvel has become extremely woke. And when you start seeing it, that's the thing that starts bugging the true fans, the comic book fans, and they start labeling, and then they cause a rift between fans itself, right? Because other people are not looking so deep into it. It's there, but we just, okay, it's there, whatever, right? So that's when we're labeled normies. So names are being thrown out and things like that, which is causing division. Those agendas are causing division between the fan base. Is social media helping with this? I don't think it is, because I think it's just creating more rifts. So
okay. I see a lot of that. I understand that. Who wants to go next? Anzo, Danny.
I'll go.
Go ahead, Danny. 3 minutes starts now.
I don't know anything about this latest new Captain America comics, but I'm going to refer to a comic book movie, my favorite of the Dark Knight trilogy, when Alfred's talking to Bruce Wayne, and he talks about when he's in the war, and the guy was sealing the diamonds and then the jewels, and then he give them to the kids, and trying to figure out what was his motivation. And he's trying to figure out the Joker's motivation. And he says, sometimes people just want to see the world burn, just for the sake of seeing the world burn. Sometimes we as content creators, we have to stop these knee-jerk reactions to what Disney or whatever beef you get with whatever company or whatever, because sometimes they're just doing it just to get their rise out of us. So I think sometimes, not all the time, you just need to just kind of ignore it. Don't even worry about it. Don't even report on it, because if it's always, there's a saying, it takes two to argue. So if somebody's arguing at you and you just ignore them or just don't even act like they're around, eventually they're gonna get tired of it. Kevin Garnett said that he never fought with Tim Duncan because whatever he said, Tim Duncan never responded back to him, and this killed him. And then he said, by the end of the game, he got more. Tim Duncan had more points than he did. So maybe we need to stop worrying about all these agendas and trying to read stuff and stuff. I don't think every movie comes out of the Disney warehouse, whatever, has an agenda to it. I just don't. I don't go there looking for it. You're going like, oh, there it is. There's woke. There's this. I don't do that. And even if it did, let's just say hypothetically it did, just because you can say something or just because you want to say something doesn't mean you have to say something. If you're a God-fearing person and you pray, people always think that God said the answer is going to be yes. Well, guess what? It's going to be three answers. Sometimes it's going to be yes, sometimes it's going to be no, and most times it's going to be just be still. So sometimes we need to just be still and don't worry about what Disney's doing. Don't worry about what these companies are doing, and just go in there and watch it. If you don't like it, you ain't going to talk about it. So there's plenty of things I could talk about, but I'm like, can I talk about Suicide Squad? I think I might have done a review on it one time, but one time. I'm not going to sit here and beat it to death because everybody knows that watch the shows. Robert Storm did show of the shows that I'm involved in. I didn't care for it. It wasn't my cup of tea. I'm not going to strengthen the argument one way or the other by repeatedly saying it over and over and over. I know that's what we're supposed to do on here, but sometimes you got to draw a line. I'm drawing a line, and look, I don't worry about all these agendas because what it's going to do is going to kill my love for these comic book movies. And I want to say one quick thing. I know I'm over. I talked to General Zod, guy I stream with, and he is a comic book enthusiast, but he's missed out on a lot of comic book material because he's not supporting Disney on everything, on nothing they do. If it's Disney, he's not supporting it. And yeah, you have a right to your views and your stance, But man, look what you missed out on. Even if you like it or don't like it, you missed out on something that none of us thought. Well, I didn't think that 30 years ago I would see all this stuff that's going on with the comic book movies. It would be as popular. So I'm not going to do it. And I'm not going to do it. If I don't like it, I'm going to say I'm going to like it, but I'm not going to boycott a company because they happen to own a particular property, and I don't like the way they managing it. To me, that's just crazy.
Yep, I agree. Anzo,
Yeah, man.
3 minutes. You need the question again? You got it.
No, man, I got it.
All right, cool.
People are too damn fucking sensitive. It's so goddamn annoying. It's like, if you don't like it, don't fucking read it. Don't buy it. Don't support it, whatever. But there is a fucking crowd out there that will enjoy this shit. There's a crowd that enjoys this shit, right? So when we were growing up, they put all kinds of shit out. You know, shows that we didn't like, shows that comic books that we didn't like, movies that we didn't like. We didn't see it. There was none of this. Oh my God, I gotta trash this. I gotta get this canceled because of this, because of that. Fucking Eddie Murphy comedies. We would have never got that shit. Richard Pryor, all this bullshit we would have got if the cancel culture wouldn't have got. Sorry, if cancel culture was back in those days, right? Stories back in the days, they also had fucking agendas in them or certain political messages. Star Wars did, you know. The problem is now they're putting those messages in the forefront instead of putting them in the back of the story. If you put them in the back of the story and you do a great story, you can put all the agenda shit you want in there. Most people will just be like, oh, okay, you know what I mean, whatever, it's in there, but the movie was good. Problem is now it's just thrown in your face constantly thrown in your face, and that's where it takes away from the stories, and that's where the big issue comes from, you know. So for me, I'm just like, listen, people complain black Superman this and that, so what? Let them do it. If you don't like it, don't watch it. It's just simple as that, man. You got money that you want to spend on a movie, go see it on something else. But at the end of the day, you got to let the creators create the shit that they want to create, right? You know, some of it will hit, some of it doesn't. If you don't do that, then we don't get good shit, right? You never know, you can have a fucking gem in one of those fucking bullshit stories. So I'm just like, let them do what they do. Dean Cain said he slammed it. If he don't like it, you don't have to watch it. But everything that people do now just offends everybody. It's really fucking annoying. It's so annoying. Like, and I'm sick of it. That's all I got.
All right. Yeah, I mean, okay. There's two ways to look at this. You can hold accountable the people who write the crap. But just because you hold them accountable, that doesn't give you the right to ask for them to go home or be canceled. It's not your thing, fine. Do you have a right to say something? Absolutely you do. Should they be attacking political situations? I don't know. I haven't read it. I don't know how, like Anza said, how out in the forefront it is. But if it is blended into the whole thing, and I think Star Wars is a great example there, Anza. Empire versus the rebels, an oppressive communistic government in the 80s. What do you think they were? Even if it wasn't exactly built off of Russia, they were purposely trying to show something that the United States didn't like. So, of course, we love that movie because the little guy won. The little guy overthrew the big guy, type thing like that. So as long as you do it and not shove it down somebody's throat and bang it into their head that this is what you're doing, it's fine. Be it anything about, a character's sexual orientation or their gender identity. You know what? We just want a story. We want a story, and if it's part of that story, great. Let it go. It's great. But the biggest problem is writers right now. You want to hold somebody accountable, hold the writers accountable. Don't ask that they be canceled. Just write these people, write these companies and talk to these companies and say, listen, You know, you guys got to get better writers. I mean, there's an approach that you need to take to it. And one of the things is not to cancel it, because typically that means that those properties, those writers, those things get more play then. More people go and see what's this about. And then the business sees the dollars, and that's all they care about. So it doesn't matter. So I think, like Danny said, beating a dead horse is ridiculous, because some people are still complaining about Rian Johnson and The Last Jedi. That movie has shipped and sailed 15 times by now. And people are still talking about it. We're still talking about He-Man. I mean, and yeah, I know that they still got more stuff for that coming out, but there's nothing you can do once it comes out. Your idea is to maybe help the people who run these things to understand better why you don't like it. And do it in an intelligible, civil way, not spitting fire at people. That's not what YouTube's about, though. We all know that doesn't work in YouTube, being nice about stuff. So, you know, I'm not saying that. 3 minutes. Let's talk about this really quick together, guys.
I don't know if it's possible, but a lot of the problem with all this cancel culture on the YouTube end is everybody is trying to crack and beat the algorithm. And once they find a viable way to do it, or something that gets clicks, then they just go all in. And I guess
100.
it's gonna have to be whether or not you want to go all in and what you stand for. Because if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. My dad always used to say that. So,
Absolutely.
Would I like to have a big YouTube channel? Yes. Would I like to get thousands of clicks and look at it? Yeah, but does it drive me? Am I driven by that? No, I'm not. If when I get it, will I be happy? Yes, but do I wake up every morning and I have YouTube on my, or I'm like, what am I going to talk about today? What kind of click? What kind of controversy? What is the algorithm going to allow me to do? I don't ever think about that. This is a hobby where I've met good friends, all of y'all here on the panel, and I enjoy that interaction more than actually the monetary rewards that this particular platform will allow if you reach a certain number. So at the end of the day, man, I know I keep saying this. I'm going to probably keep saying it. This shit ain't real. I'm not going to throw in my energy. I'm not throwing in my energy and get worked up and go to the hospital like somebody we know over some fake shit. I ain't going to do it.
I think the biggest thing here is that you're right. It's just fantasy or whatever, but I think that this is a double-edged sword. There's some to be blamed on the people writing about politics. Listen, a kid, if you're trying, who's your audience? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Who's your audience with this? If it's kids, they don't want politics. They don't care about politics. They just want fun. They want to see Captain America kick the shit out of the Red Skull or something like that. I mean, it's just that's what it's about.
The audience who feathers ruffle, based on what I can see, is Gen X and older millennials.
Yeah, but I'm saying
who's the young? That's what I'm saying. That's the audience that seems to be aggravated and fighting and kicking and screaming about this stuff. I don't think the younger millennials and Generation X, I don't think they worry about it. I think it's people our age, and I want to say in particular, Caucasian males are having a fit on some of this stuff. And that is your right. And I'm not saying it's wrong or right. I'm just calling it like I see it. And at the end of the day, we have to make sure, man, we keep a realistic grip on this. Do we want to just go totally crazy? And people say, well, that's our childhood. No matter what anybody puts on this on the big screen, it's not going to mess up my childhood. I'm still going to have those memories. I now, thank God, because of YouTube, Amazon stuff, we can go back and watch those memories. So I don't care what they say about this new stuff. It ain't going to mess up my childhood memories, because if I want to go back and watch Thundercats, go back and watch He-Man or whatever, I can do it. So
what I'm trying to say is that, the Gen Xer thing and all that, yeah, I understand that, but that's the one side. That's the one part of the sword, the edge of this over here. The other edge is here's these comic book writers writing about politics. Who is their audience? Who are they trying to reach out to? Because if they're reaching out to kids, why are they writing about politics? What are they trying to instill in kids that has anything to do with that stuff? I just think that, Danny, like you said, this is something a lot of people get worked up over. I don't think they should be writing about politics. I think it should be more fantasy based, but you know what? I don't read it, so I don't really care. Doesn't matter to me. And again, if I watch something, I try to watch it objectively, and I try to watch it like a fan. I like having two sides of it, because I will critique a movie if it's not a great movie, but if I enjoyed it, oh well, that's two different sides of it.
Well, there's a saying that art imitates life, so yeah. I guess that's what they're doing, and to a certain extent, maybe. I guess it's okay. It's their right to do it, but I think with anything that you do, you have to temper it. If you're gonna go into that area of writing, or that area, or you trying to be expressive about that, you got to temper that with common sense and some restraint. You can't just go all out one way or the other way, because it's going to ruffle feathers, and then it's going to be stuff like what we see going on now. So I think if you stay more in the fantasy base part of comic book writing and movie making, I think it'd be a whole lot better off.
Gaiskar, anything else on it?
Not really, man.
Okay.
Good.
Yeah, I mean, I think right now what we're getting into is again, like I said, comic book companies are desperately trying to stay alive. I mean, these companies are trying to go digital. They're trying to do anything they can to keep afloat.
Yeah, I'm already digital. I cut it on my phone now.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. So the digital thing, though, doesn't bring in the same amount of money, but that's because they're still printing actual books, because there's still people out there that will buy every copy of a Captain America, whether or not they like it or not. But
true fans.
Yeah,
I used to be like that, but I'm running out of space, man.
But the thing here is like I said, comic book companies see the outrage on some of the stuff that they put, and I think they're doing it on purpose to get the outrage, because the outrage reverts back to them in the sense of dollars and cents. What's going on? They go to a comic book store, they go on the app and look at it. That's dollars in their pocket if they can sell 10 because of outrage. It goes back to that line in Howard Stern in Private Parts, 50% of the people tune in because they like what he says. The other 50% are tuning in because they want to see what he says next, because they hate him. And they're both playing into each other. So I think the comic book companies and Disney and other thing are going and pushing these things because they know on the other side there's people saying cancel Disney, do this, do that. And what does it do for your common normie people? It's like, well, what's the big deal? I guess I need to go see this movie. And money comes into their pockets. And I think if either side stop doing it, that's when the change will come. That things will not fundamentally revert back to what they used to be. It'll just calm down to where things become more status quo. Things won't be so much in your face. But I think we're in a perpetual loop of, I'm mad at Disney for doing this, and Disney's now doing more of it because it gets me mad. And I'm not saying that they're directly going after everybody who gets mad about it, but I think they see that and they know that brings extra people into their wheelhouse to get more money. That's what I think. But anyways, that is a rabbit hole of a topic right there. Which came first, the chicken or the egg, the mad YouTuber or the agenda of people like Disney and comic books and so on and so forth. All right.
What time your show starts, Sanzo?
10:30.
You got time for one more, Chris?
That's up to them. You want one more, guys? We can do it really quick. We'll just do we can do like a 6-minute just overall on it.
Go ahead.
All right, let's there we go. Remove that. Let's share this screen. All right, that. And let's see here. We will do.
That'll be a good one. That'll be a good one.
Oh, and you asked for it. We can spin again if you want.
What does it say?
The IOC, that's the International Olympic Committee, says that it's reconsidering guidelines for allowing trans athletes to compete.
No.
Okay, let's do this one more time. Let's find a good one. Watch it be the same one again. Or is there one you want to talk about? Oh, here you go. This one. You'll talk about this one.
Yeah, this is a good one here.
You'll talk about this one. Jesus. Hey, Dandelion, good to see you. Good to see you. All right, do you think Tom Brady will make another Super Bowl appearance? Oh dear God! Hold on. Let me get this up here, reset, and we'll do 6 minutes. Go ahead. We can just talk about it all together
because I know how you feel about it, but right now, man, based on what I'm seeing, I'm not gonna guarantee, but he got a strong chance. Barring injury, of appearing back there. I don't know if he's going to win it because, like I said, I haven't seen. I want to hold that judgment to the preseason, but his team is stacked, man. Receiver core, tight end core. I mean, so he has a fighting chance unless his skills have diminished even greater than last year. And based on some of his tryouts I've seen and warm-ups and practices, he looks like he's going to be ready. So I'm not going to go here with anything because Father Time has always won. You may outrun it. You may last a little bit longer than the average person, but at the end, Father Time is going to always touch you on the shoulder and say, okay, it's time to come on home. So maybe this will be the year that Father Time drops on him that he can compete at whatever level, whether you think it's professional or not, whether you think Tom Brady is trash or not, statistic wise. I mean, he's just it. And is he my favorite quarterback? No, he isn't, because he's put my teams and other teams out. But at the end of the day, and I'm going quick, you got to give the devil his due sometime, even if you think he got it by means unnecessary, but a man is always innocent until proven guilty. He hasn't been proven in anything. Now there's some spots that look like he does some crazy stuff. Let me use my time. No.
We were doing 6 minutes all together. We were going to do it as a group. No, because he's got Anza's going here in about 23 minutes. So I just wanted to try to get through it. No, I mean we'll talk about it a little more, but I mean, okay, yeah, devil is defined. But here's the problem: he is the Lance Armstrong in the NFL. Everybody said Lance Armstrong was doping. Everybody said that he was cheating. He was cheating, and he got away with it for so damn long until somebody, and I can't even remember now how it happened. Somebody got the kryptonite and showed it, and he was fucked. How many people, and again, you guys have heard Uche say it, there are plenty of people, numerous people that said not just the New England Patriots, but Tom Brady himself. There's people still saying that to this day that Tom Brady paid money out of his pocket, cash money, to make people go in and deflate those footballs. And I'm not saying that there's any proof because, of course, they made him do the suspension for that, which means they believe it happened. I'm just saying. Go ahead.
Yeah, they believe it happened, but there was no definitive proof that he had anything to do with it, right? So basically, it was just
there are lots of people that say they know it.
There are, but again, there's also a lot of Tom Brady haters out there too, as well, right? And they hate on him because he wins. A lot of people in the NBA
but the thing is,
Michael Jordan because he won. He won.
Yeah, so Michael Jordan is a good example. when he came back, and I understand he was forced out and all that stuff, but when he came back, he wasn't the same guy. There's an age factor here, and I don't care what you eat. Listen, I don't care what you eat. I don't care how you work out. There is something that is not right about the situation. And I have said that, and I will stick by that. Do I think he'll get there again? I guess if it's popular enough for the NFL to think that they need a 44-year-old guy in the fucking Super Bowl, that he'll magically get back there again. Because there's been multiple times when, I'm sorry, you don't have a turnaround like that. Chris, there have been much better teams that have been in the same position and never been able to get out of it.
I hear what you're saying, but I'm going to say this is going to be a serious hot take, and I'm not directing it towards you. But Tom Brady is a product of
bullshit.
What's the word
I know.
No, I ain't going to say bullshit, but he's a product of what's the words I want to say? Go ahead, go on. So I had a damn booming moment.
It's all right. I'll say this is I'm not going to sit here and say he's going to go back to the Super Bowl. Does he have all the pieces to do it? Absolutely. But seasons, anything can happen, injuries and shit like that. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to just give it to him just like that, because anything can happen. But he does have the tools. He does have the team to go back there.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Tom Brady is a product of white privilege. If this was a black quarterback that went through all that kind of stuff, I don't think that they would get the same pass that Tom Brady got. So it's kind of crazy that a white person would be mad at that when what he's getting is what white people get the whole time in their careers.
I want a person who deserves to be there. This guy has lied, cheated, and stolen everything. I know. What I'm saying is this guy is the dirtiest rat of them all, and he sits there and he smiles like a fucking Cheshire cat and literally makes everybody eat his shit because he thinks he's better than everybody else.
Well, let me ask you this.
And I'm sorry, here's the thing. You can say what you want about his. Listen, there have been way too many things I have seen that should have been pulled back and said, you know what, fuck it, we can't let him do this, and yet they let him do it. And it started back against the Raiders when the Tuck rule was established. And why was it established? Because they whined about it. And everybody there, even on the fucking television, said, what the hell are they doing? And ever since then, the NFL has literally said, here, Tom, bend over so we can kiss your ass and do what you want us to do. They've changed rules. They've looked the other way. And that, to me, is not a true champion.
Okay, but do you think he's the only quarterback in the NFL that does that dirty stuff and so all kind of stuff?
Absolutely not.
Gets away with it? Yes.
No, he's the best at doing it, because he hasn't got caught yet. And I'm not saying he won't get caught. I'm not saying he's not doing anything dirty. But if everybody else is doing it, but you don't get caught, you can't get mad at the game or the player because I'm slicker than you, or I'm more popular than you, or I'm better than you. I ain't saying none of it's right.
Slickness. There's nothing slick about what he does, because again, they just look the other way. I was so surprised he got the 6-game suspension when he got it.
But Chris,
or the 4-game or whatever it turned out to be.
You got to blame Roger Goodell. You got to blame 32.
And I do. Whatever. Like I said, if the NFL finds it in their best interest to shove his ass back up there, then they're going to do it. That's what this comes down to me. I mean,
Tom Brady is the Kathleen Kennedy of the NFL. People are mad at Kathleen Kennedy because they say that she did this, she did that. But Kathleen Kennedy, during her tenure, brought in money and made profit. Tom Brady brings profit.
That.
Tom Brady
cannot deny that.
So you think they're gonna kill and hurt their cash cow?
No, but here's the thing.
That's the same way with Michael Jordan.
Johnny Unitas at one time was the cash cow of the NFL before there was a cash cow. Johnny Unitas did it. And you know what ended up happening to Johnny Unitas? Half of his body was literally paralyzed because they kept working him.
That's a different time though, Chris.
Oh no, but the thing is what's gonna happen when Tom Brady gets snapped in half out there?
Hey,
listen,
he at the end of the day, he has a conscious decision whether or not he's gonna go out there or not. That's him. But as long as he feel like he can do it, as long as it's going to pull ratings, because now half of the world wants to see Tom Brady fail. You in that part. I hope he gets to the NFL or Super Bowl or whatever, and I hope they fuck him up stuff. That's what's putting people in the seats. That's what's making people cut the TV on because they want to see him fail, and the fans that love him want to see him win. So they in a whirlwind situation. They get money on both sides. The people that hate him is just as strong as the people that love him. So the NFL is going to ride Tom Brady until his ass can't be ridden no more.
Yeah. Okay, this is all conspiracy theories. The NFL strategically made Brady, it makes Brady get to the Super Bowl. Okay, let me answer this. I'm not stating that the NFL blatantly makes sure and sabotages everybody, but I am saying that there are more situations than not with Tom Brady and the New England Patriots, and it's like in racing when racers do something and everybody's like, well, he's cheating. It's not about, is he cheating? There's a lot of people cheating in the NFL. We know it. It's when do you get caught and how badly do you get caught? Listen,
the same
everybody wants to say that go ahead. Sorry.
Same thing has been said about Dale Earnhardt. He was intimidated.
I understand that.
He drove rough, and he had fans that loved him, and he had fans that hate him. So in every sport, they're going to be that somebody that is going to be so, what's the word? Charismatic, whatever word you want to use to describe him. That's going to be like, damn, I want to see him win. So Tom Brady just happened to be that guy. And I think that there are more quarterbacks and more teams that did that stuff. It's just that he was the guy. They ain't going to let their main guy get hurt. So, and I'm telling you this, as soon as Tom Brady retires, I'm betting Patrick Mahomes going to be slide right to that place because he's exciting. Now, we don't know whether or not
I'm not.
Let me finish just one thing. We don't know whether or not the bright lights and all this kind of stuff is going to tempt him. So I don't think Tom Brady came in there evil, but I think as he grew in popularity and fame and stuff, that he started believing his own hype. So the next person, which I believe is going to be Patrick Mahomes, may fall into that same trap 15, 20 years down the road.
I don't think it had anything to do with Brady being the one. I think it was the program he came up in. He was told, well, that's not fair to us. That's not that's not this. That's not that. Listen, Bill Belichick has whined and moaned. He did it last year when he had a horrible team. He still does it. And the difference is the golden nugget that he had was the fact that Tom Brady, and I will say this to your point, is the epitome of look at who it is. Tall, white guy. He looks good, whatever. It is an image. And for the NFL, it's a good image. It looks good, and then you got to ask your questions about, like Deshaun Watson and things like that. Look what happened to him. Why does that happen to him? And it's like something's being done to make sure that the people they don't want to have a spotlight don't get the spotlight, and the people that they want to have a spotlight or be better off. It's like just magically things happen for them. You guys talk about Colin Kaepernick. It's the same type of thing. I think things are done. I don't want to say that it's conspiracy theory, but I think that certain hurdles are put in front of certain people and hurdles are taken away from other people in the NFL. And right now that's because money drives the NFL. The NFL has the best product as far as monetarily speaking. They have the best product right now. And until you get that figured out, I bet you Goodell goes. As soon as Goodell goes, a lot of this stuff changes. Because Goodell has been a tyrant and he wants it a certain way. But I don't know. But yeah. So, all right, guys, let's wrap it up. And I'll have you guys tell everybody about yourselves one more time. Start with Gaiskar. Gaiskar, tell everybody about yourself and where you can be found, please.
Yes, the Basco Scenario is my channel. You can find some great gaming clips. Please, if you haven't subscribed, please do. Also, follow me on Twitch, where that's specifically for my gaming. Eventually, I'm going to just have my gaming on there or not. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. Saying that, yeah, you can find me Bad Batch Roundtable this Sunday. And you can find me later on my channel for my stuff. And eventually on Chaos Central when I get that going. So, yeah, pleasure, guys. It's been fun. I appreciate it, Chris. Yep. Thank you.
Thank you very much for being here. Up next, let's go to Anzo. Anzo, tell everybody about yourself and tell them about your show tonight.
That's right. You guys know the channel, Biggaford Entertainment. As soon as I get off here, we're going to start the OOC. Got Ashley coming on tonight, the widow, so you guys know if you follow her channel. Make sure to check it out. It's going to be a fire show. We got some fire topics for you tonight. So thanks for having me on.
Awesome.
Chris. Great show.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Last but not least, our resident Tom Brady kisser butter, Mr. Comic Chat. Danny, tell everybody about yourself and where you can be found.
You don't know how much it pains me to say that, man, because I'm not a Brady fan, but I have to recognize greatness, or at least in my mind.
I recognize shit, but that's just me.
That's your opinion, bro. It's obvious, painfully obvious that I will never change that, and I'm cool with that. I'm Danny Graham, aka Comic Chat. My channel and my show is Comic Chats on Monday nights, and the show is Chaotic Conversation, Monday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can find me along with these guys here on the panel. We discuss all kind of crazy things. Like I said, a little bit now button heads with this show we got coming on Sunday, but I'm pretty sure we're gonna figure that out. Please catch Anzo's What If Roundtable, and also catch JJ's last episode of the Bad Batch.
Bad Batch Roundtable. Yes.
Yeah. So I'm definitely ready to see
Bad Basco. Bad.
The Bad Basco. the Bad Basco Batch.
Yeah, okay. That's a tongue twister.
Yeah, that is. I want to see that last episode, man. The first part was pretty fire.
I hope.
I'm also ready to see that crawl, because it should show how Mace Grandu, Comic Chat Grandu.
All right.
Can I get the nunchuck lightsabers like Bruce Wayne?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
You remember what happened the last time you asked me to do something?
Come on, man. Come on.
Right?
I am Chris Knight. Real Review 3000 is my channel right now. I am really pushing Twitch also, and I'm trying to get up to 50 followers, which will help me become a affiliate. An affiliate is only 18 away currently. So go to Twitch. If you have a Twitch account, guys, go over there and look up The Real Review 3000 and follow me over there. Greatly appreciate it. I got like 10 days or so to get it. So really help me out, guys. I really appreciate that. Check out all these guys. And we got good stuff coming up here soon. We got the What If roundtable, finishing up the Bad Batch roundtable. Gaiskar's got his show coming up here probably in about 2 weeks or so. Guys, we're just trying to get things going. Help support everybody that you see on these channels and help support our channel. We are currently, last I checked, at 201 subs, and I'm glad to see that. It's good to see us sustained over 200. Next step is 300. Help us out, get there, and share out the name Chaos Central. And guys, with that said, I think we're out of here. So, peace.